Well, I got this one right. Drax, whatever his name is, Avatar of Life, having multiple names for the same card is so weird, has come out, and this card is immediately meta, one of the best 3 drops in the game. Unfit Parrot stuck the card in the Aurora deck, which was being outpowered by Shu Lao and had disappeared. But because it can run tech, this deck does an amazing job at answering the Star Lord meta, which means that Drax, an extra giant power spike for the deck, is huge and pivotal. But the big news is Doom 2099 is just back. Shu Lao was again too big for Doom 2099. It was going way over the top of that card. However, what happened since is Moondragon came out, Drax came out, and the Star-Lord meta took over. Well, Doom 2099 can run the cards that counter Star-Lord. Doom 2099 can effectively put out a ton of points, and now, despite the Doombot still being 0 power, we have a real deck once more. We're going to break all these down and more in today's Snap Judgments, but before we do, please hit a sub, like, and comment in order to enter to win a free Star-Lord Master of the Sun. If you'd like the current Season Pass card, the meta-defining card of Marvel Snap for free, all you got to do is sub, like, comment. It's just that simple, friends. All right, so Unfit Parrot, our friend who is a YouTuber and Twitch streamer, really awesome human, basically put all the cards that are good into a blender, said Aurora, and then Drax is just big. So this deck can sort of lack beef, right? It's a sort of a mishmash of good cards. Safety Blade fundamentally, quote unquote, invented this archetype when Aurora came out. Just a mishmash of cards that he likes playing. But then we got the two powerful cards, right? Like we got Shu Lao, we got Fin Fang Foom, and this deck just didn't have enough power to really compete. Star-Lord has changed the meta to a point where if you can stop Star-Lord, you can compete with those decks. And from there, that like the Star-Lord decks have fundamentally chased away the Shu Lao decks. And if you're not worried about Shu Lao, then all of a sudden this deck has the points to compete again. This is back to being a meta deck. You can find the creator of this deck at twitch.tv/unfitparrot or YouTube at the same name. Please do go check him out. He'll have some gameplay for this deck. This deck needs the new Drax, Aurora, Cannonball, Stardust, Sam, and Mercury. We'll talk about why for each when we go through the card by card. Herbie can be any 2-cost activate. I like Awesome Andy. Hydrobob can be Sunspot, not great, but at least it's an end of turn. You do want a 1-drop that's a different keyword. I guess we don't have a 1-drop that's I don't know. I think Hydrobob is the safest by far. Like Iceman will be okay if you must. Thing can be Cosmic Ghost Rider, and again we'll talk about why. Alright, so Spider Ham has a chance of ruining your opponent's combos. This is a very combo heavy meta. Spider Ham has been all over the place for obvious reasons. They took away a power. It usually matters. It has not enough for this card. It's still really strong. It's also an activate, so Spider Ham is one of the 2 activates in the deck along with Herbie. Please play them in different lanes such that when you play Aurora, you get +4. Not super complicated there, right? Hydrobob is an end of turn. I believe Hydrobob is the only end of turn. Oh, Drax is also an end of turn in the deck, so you play them in different lanes, and then you get the power from them when you play Aurora. Nice and simple, yeah. You also care about Prio because you need Prio against the Sunspot. Excuse me, the I'm going to keep saying the wrong sun things. Star Lord, Master of the Sun decks, you need Prio because you're trying to kill them in 2 ways. You're trying to kill them by Cosmoing them, perfectly acceptable way to wreck them. You drop Cosmo in the lane that they're going to try and do their Absorbing Man and their Grandmaster, and you win the game. You can also win by just playing Cannonball if you played Mercury on them, but you need Prio to make sure that that Star Lord is stopped before it goes off. Herbie's an activate. Herbie can give you energy to do silly things. It can also just give you decent power. Just a good card to have access to. Probably the go-to 2-cost activate, although not the only one. Kate gives you multiple cards that can take the Aurora buff. Nice and simple. Sam gives you an on reveal and an ongoing, both of which can, you guessed it, take the Aurora buff. Cosmo, we talked about. Drax is keyword big here. Drax in the current meta plays, if you play him on curve, for a 311 or so. That's obviously absolutely huge, right? Like if you can get Drax up to a 311, you are perfectly happy to play him. You can make it a 13 or whatever with Aurora. You win the game. Mercury is here for Cannonball. There's also a lot of the mini move decks that are actually being played to counter Star Lord, Stardust, Star Brand, Star Lord, Star. The Star Lord stuff, and Mercury really, really helps with those. The like little The Supergiant or Daredevil decks that are running basically the little move package are wrecked by Mercury. Stardust says sometimes they're going to Zola, sometimes people are going to try and counter and play Hela. No, thank you. We talked about Cannonball, same concept as Mercury. Thing is just big for the mid range matchups. You play him in the right lane, he gets big enough, he destroys what your opponent's doing. A lot of those smaller mid range decks are utterly wrecked. They cannot beat Thing in a lane. And then Aurora's good power. So this one went 13 and 2, 87% to Infinite. Parrot says he played one bot, so that would be 12 and 2 if you prefer to count it that way. Turn 1 Ham over Bob. Turn 2 Sam over Herbie over Kate. Turn 3 Drax over Mercury, unless you have to play Mercury, obviously. Turn 4 Stardust or 3+1. If you can see their Hella deck, Stardust away, snap it. Turn 5 Cannonball if you can kill Starlord, or you can play Cosmo into 2 to stop Starlord, and if none of those things are true, just play Thing. Then turn 6 Cannonball on a 1 or Aurora. And with that, you should usually win the game of Marvel Snap. This is a very cool, very consistent list that I think is just genuinely really, really, really good. Our friend, the White Wayne Brady, has been playing this. He played this, he fell down to the low 90s, played this immediately, shot back up to 98. If you're struggling for Infinite and have access to these, go for it. Before we get to talking about the next deck, I'd like to let you know I have a second YouTube channel, youtube.com/@PulseGlazer. It's relatively new. We're trying to grow it, and we could use your support. We're actually going to take today off on that channel because I'm about to stream. As this video goes live, I should be live on Twitch with our good friend Smiles of Snap Academy YouTube. But tomorrow we'll have a raid video and a Hearthstone video. I'm basically putting together a beginner's guide for a total beginner in Hearthstone, and it's taking a little while to put together. What we're doing on the channel is we're doing a 10-day challenge for a new game. We play a game for 10 days. We see what it's like to be a beginner in the game, and then we report out to you, the audience, and then we decide to rank it. Like, are we going to keep playing this? And we're going to rank these games against each other. Once Hearthstone is done, we have the new Regis Kilbin game that we're going to try. We also have a new game from a little fella named Richard Garfield that we have exclusive early access to. So if those sound good to you, please make sure you're subbed or ring that bell. We're also doing some Raid Shadow Legends content over there. Some people complain about that game, but I really love it. I think it's a genuine blast to play. I have so much fun with it. All right, next up, we got the Eeka list. Yeah, that's right. 2 days in a row, Eeka. And what? So, Eeka's list, a bunch of people messaged me yesterday that hit Infinite with his previous list. Well, Eeka and Infinite decided to play a Doom 2099 Drax list. Basically, Doom 2099's problem, it puts up points, it just needs ways to go over the top. Well, this deck now has Moondragon, Chamber, and Drax. So it has ways to go over the top. It also could just die to the new Starlord. It's got the Mercury Cannonball thing to stop that, as well as having access to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider being if you have priority, you just hit the Star Lord, and then they can't absorb Man and Mercury, they can't Zola it, and you win the game. So like that's the real power here. This list puts up enough points now to be a really, really effective, strong list. Yuck. All right, so you can find Eeka at Twitch.tv Eeka MTS. We'll talk about the success of this deck later because it must be seen to be believed. We have the full stats for it. We're going to need Drax, Moondragon, Chamber, Aurora, Mercury, Cannonball, Doom 29, and Invisible Woman for this list. And a lot of those are probably cards you don't have. I'm really sorry. I'm assuming most of my viewers who've been playing long enough have Chamber, Mercury, Cannonball, Doom 29, 2099, Invisible Woman, because each of those at some point was the best card in Marvel Snap. Aurora, Drax, and Moondragon. I don't know. If you grab Moondragon, now grab Drax. And if you grabbed Aurora, you should be good to go. Iron Lad can be Jubilation Lee. Iron Lad is better, but excuse me, you'll be fine. Cosmic Ghost Rider can be Cosmo. Bob can be Spider Ham. All right, next up, we got card by card. So Hydra Bob is good for Prio. I don't know if I've emphasized this enough in this video, but Prio is extremely important in beating the Star-Lord decks. So you need access to a card like Hydra Bob to get Prio. Moondragon is big, as is Chamber. You're running 4 or 5 or higher cards for Chamber. You're probably not going to have more than 3 in hand, but even then, that's a 5/7/9, a 2/9 Chamber. That's the same basic thing as playing Moondragon on 2. Although if you play Moondragon on 2, she's immediately a 2/4. Card on 3, 2/6. Card on 4, 2/8. Card on 5, 2/10. I guess Moondragon get up to a 2/12. So, like, yeah, these are just keyword big cards. These are how we're getting the stats to really compete. Invisible Woman can give us an extra Doombot. That's what she's here for. She is not terribly important in the list. Don't drive yourself crazy. The second Chamber trigger is almost better. Although if you can go Chamber, Invisible Woman, Doom in the same lane, you're starting to cook with some gas. Drax gets big and wins a lane. It's not complicated. He's really big. He moves if he wins. If he's not going to win, he stays. Great stuff. Mercury is here for the cannonball combo. Again, prioritize Mercury if you're running into a Starlord. Doom makes Doom bots as long as you play one card. It allows you to do the whole deck. Iron Lad is an extra shot at whatever cards you need. Usually, we're aiming for to hit Doom on 4, but sometimes we're looking to Cannibal or Cosmic Ghost Rider as a way to beat the Starlord. Same thing. Cannibal and Cosmic Ghost Rider are your ways to answer Star-Lord, also just powerful tech pieces. Doom works with the Doom bots. Doom and Doom bots will buff each other. Both Dooms and Doom bots will buff each other. And then Aurora can just buff basically the whole board. Everything casually has a separate keyword in this list. Like Hydra Bob and Moondragon are both end of turn. Chamber and Invisible Woman are activate. Um, but like you'll play one of Invisible Woman with the end of turn Doom 2099. Drax is enter. I guess you have to be careful at end of turn here. That's what you really have to worry about. But everything else should be relatively simple to avoid same laning too much, and Aurora should be really, really good. Push comes to shove, we could try Spectrum here. Just think Spectrum's too much of a power down. All right, 72% win rate, 58 and 23, and rank 10. That's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous for Eeka. Eeka is a top 100 player usually, not a top 10 player usually. That he has a 17% win rate and is all the way up to rank 10 with this is crazy. This list is the real deal. Turn 1 Bob, turn 2 Chamber or Moondragon pending curve, turn 3 Drax or Mercury over Invisible Woman, turn 4 2099 over the Lad, turn 5 Cannibal or Cosmic Ghost Rider to stop Starlord. If we already played Doom and we didn't do anything else, we can just drop Invisible for steps. And then turn 6 Doom Aurora, or if we played Mercury, Cannonball. I'm really excited to try this list. There's not a lot in Snap. I'm really excited to try right now. I'm annoyed at the game right now. I feel like they've released a few powerful season passes um, in a row that are not the design philosophy that I personally enjoy about Snap. We've talked about this multiple times. And so I'm barely loading the game up. Straight up, I'm barely loading up Marvel Snap. I have not been enjoying the game. I haven't even begun my infinite climb in any real earnestness. I have not found anything that's interests me. It's just here's the points or here's how to counter the points, and it's extraordinarily binary and lame to me. Um, I also am really frustrated that they're releasing these powerful cards that they're clearly going to nerf. Right, they're absolutely going to nerf the crap out of Star Lord the second they stop selling him, just like they did for Shulao, and that annoys me too. So these things have combined to not make me want to play a lot of Snap. I think this deck is pulling me back in. I'm excited to try this first time in a while. All right, before we go forward, tomorrow is an OTA. I'm going to be honest with you. I know what the OTA is, so I cannot tell you what I wish for, but I can ask you what you wish for. So, what do you hope for the OTA? Before we go forward, if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment. It would help out us so very much. All right, so Unfit Parrot put Drax into the good cards random keyword shell. The card Drax adds power in ways that this deck really needs. It's a deck that otherwise just did not have power in games that did not play Aurora. Having access to Drax means that this is going to be able to compete, usually in an extra lane, which this deck really needed to stay viable. And make no mistake, this deck is currently now viable. From there, we have Eeka. Eeka brought back Doom 2099. We've been seeing hints of this card coming back, I think from Parrot actually, fairly recently. But this version into this meta is fundamentally perfect. It does everything that this meta demands a deck do while having the consistency and the power output to really match other decks. I think Doom 2099 used to be the most boring card in the world. This build actually has optionality. This build actually has choices as much as you can by playing one card a turn, and I think it's really cool for it, as well as being genuinely insane stats right now. Give it a try. That's it for today. If you're interested, please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. If not, hey, no harm, no foul. But I'm going to say thank you to Code, our patron of the month, Abigail Gieselman, Editor Bernard, LEB Inc., I am Frostman, Hudson, Avatar, Reinberg, Ryan with Snap, Ramen for our group, Meth, for Kev, Character Sleep, Corey, Kazushi, Archangel, 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyro, Goatsy, Jonesy, Snap 22, Hallowed, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Dirty Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Gravel, Ginger Ryan, Philly, Apple, Kind of Logs, The Angel of the Business, Black Sheep, 23, Skippy, Jessica, Gamble, Slush, Death, the King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Soda, Clam, David, Moo, Wingfilter, Stains, Martin, Jason B, Matt B, William, Billy, Nix, Charles, Chucky Washington, Corwin, John Q, Jimmy Q, Q, Down, Yes, Out, 8 Stage, 1 Back, Texture Stack, Steve O, here we go, Ted Programmer Joe, Biggity, Boom, Bot, Oops, Snap, this is Joe, Acu, Ocular Screen, Goblin, Flop, Takes, Spectre, Flex, Ooh, Matt HG, J-Mac, Snowflake Flex, Nick, The Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, King, Emissary, Dumb Falcon, Foth, Thor, Newman, Two Tides, Great Lord, Ezra, Bracken, Tucka, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for Drax. Is actually really good and probably a card you're going to want to own. Best in slot 3 for the size. Should be a meta card for a long time. Peace.